year ahead. I will be delivering my first State of the City address for residents at 7 p.m. on Thursday, March 9th at Springvale Ballroom. And then on Thursday, March 16th, I'll present the Mayor's Economic Development Summit, which is specifically geared towards local business leaders, also at Springvale from 11:30 a.m. till 1 p.m. So each event will have customized messages to them. This Saturday, January 7th, the North Olmsted Recreation Center will host the first Cleveland Police Athletic League Ladies Only Boxing Invitational at the North Olmsted Recreation Center. This will be an action-packed event featuring an all-female boxing card showcasing some of the best amateur talent locally as well as across multiple regions. The Police Athletic League makes supporting activities for female participants a priority and thinks that it's important to empower our young ladies whenever possible. Tickets are only $10 via the mobile app, and more information about this match is available on the city website. The North Olmsted Police Department offers the free telephone reassurance program called Are You OK?, which consists of daily check-in phone calls for our older residents. Choose a time you would like to be checked in on every day, and the department will contact you to ask, Are you okay? If you do not answer after 2 attempts, an officer will be dispatched to your home to check on you. Please call the non-emergency number of the North Olmsted Police Department for more information and an application. The American Red Cross holds monthly blood drives at the North Olmsted Community Cabin on the first Wednesday of every month from 1 p.m. until 7 p.m. And that is information. We've had quite a few phone calls come into City Hall asking about blood drive donations, so if you could pass that on to your residents, that we as a city do host them here, that would be appreciated. Also, the mobile food pantry is something that we offer to our residents on the fourth Tuesday of every month from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m., which is in collaboration with the Maple PTA and the Greater Cleveland Food Bank, which provides free fresh produce for the North Olmsted community, and that is located at Maple Intermediate School. The next date is Tuesday, January 24th. This is a drive-through service, and you do not have to leave your vehicle in order to receive the produce. There are free hearing screenings from 10 a.m. until noon on Monday, January 23rd, which will be given to any North Olmsted resident at the North Olmsted Recreation Center. So again, that's January 23rd from 10 a.m. until noon. And the North Olmsted Parks and Recreation Department would like to bring a little extra something to these cold Ohio winter days, and what better way to do that than with a snowman making contest. Residents can participate from the comfort of their yard or a nearby park. All North Olmsted residents are encouraged to join in on the fun and be creative. Create an animal, your favorite movie character, a snowman with North Olmsted spirit, or your own North Pole village. The submission date range is from the first major snowfall until Tuesday, March 1st, 2023. There's no cost to participate. The categories include the biggest snowman, the best traditional snowman, best non-traditional snowman, most creative, most unique, best snow creation, staff pick, people's choice, and the best photo with your snowman or sculpture. The announcement of contest winners will take place in early to mid-March on the North Olmsted Recreation Center Facebook page. And I know that we've already had a few submissions of people's categories for snowmen because of the storm that hit right before Christmas here. So people are already engaging in this fun activity. And Mr. President, that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. And regarding the boxing event, if you need somebody to announce, let's get ready to rumble, I'm your guy.
I bet if you show up there and let them know that. They'd be happy to include you. in
Okay,
there.
thank you.
Yes.
Assistant Director of Law O'Malley, do you have a report this evening?
Thank you, Mr. President. There might be copyright or trademark restrictions on that slogan, so you gotta
you're
be
right.
careful. Otherwise, I do not have a report.
Okay, thank you. Director of Finance Coffer, do you have a report this evening?
Yes, I do, Mr. President. First off, Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you had a great holiday with your families, like I did. The Medicare for our EMS billing is requiring our city, starting January 1st of 2023, to join a study collecting cost data, the complete cost per EMS run, to determine if Medicare is reimbursing the true total cost to serve its patients. We're in the second group of cities. The first group began this in 2022, but there aren't any reporting requirements till May of 2023, so we won't know exactly where their numbers are lining up at. This is a joint effort between the fire division and the finance department. And the relevance of making sure that we do a good job at this is that many other insurance providers base their reimbursement rate for their EMS billing for their customers off of what the Medicare reimbursement rate is. So we want to make sure it's complete and as accurate as possible. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Moving into council committee reports, Councilwoman Williamson, Chairwoman of the Public Safety, Health, and Welfare Committee. Do you have a report this evening?
I do, Mr. President, thank you. The Public Safety, Health, and Welfare Committee met this evening at 7:25 PM. Present were committee members Williamson and Glassburn, council members Gilchrist, Limpert, and Scarl, our council president, mayor, law director, human resources director, and safety director, and guests. On the agenda was ordinance 2022-106, which is an ordinance amending chapter 557 of the General Offenses Code of the City of North Olmsted entitled Sale of Cigarettes and Tobacco Products in order to update regulations for the sale to or possession of cigarettes, electronic cigarettes, or other tobacco or alternate nicotine products by individuals under 21 years of age and declaring an emergency. Director Schofield did speak briefly on this issue and stated that this was somewhat of an update to our code. However, it was requested that this piece of legislation be held in committee due to pending state legislation that may be in conflict. A motion was made to hold this piece of legislation in committee, and that motion passed with a vote of 2-0. Mr. President, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to amend our agenda this evening to remove ordinance 2022-106 from second reading, and ask for a second.
Second.
Motion to remove ordinance 2022-106 from second reading made by Councilwoman Williamson and seconded by Councilman Glassburn. Roll call, please.
Ms. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Glassburn?
Yes.
Ms. Heeman?
Yes.
Ms. Gilchrist?
Yes.
Mr. Limpert?
Yes.
Mr. Scarl?
Yes.
That passes by a vote of 6-0.
Our meeting concluded at 7:29 PM. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Limpert, Chairman of the Building, Zoning, and Development Committee, do you have a report this evening?
No report to see, Mr. President, but if I could have a moment, personal privilege.
Sure.
I just wanted to reiterate a note that the mayor made around the Red Cross, and that there's blood donations at the library as well, and just would encourage people to do that. There's health benefits to it. You feel better about yourself when you're helping other people. And there's so many blood drives all around the area that I'd encourage you to at least do it once. So, thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Heeman, Chairwoman of the Recreation, Public Parks, and Buildings Committee, do you have a report this evening?
I do not, thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
President.
Councilman Glassburn, Chairman of the Finance Committee, do you have a report this evening?
No report this evening, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Councilman Glassburn, Vice Chair of the Streets and Transportation Committee, do you have a report?
No report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Councilman Scarl, Chairman of the Environmental Control Committee, do you have a report this evening?
No report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And Councilwoman Gilchrist, Chairwoman of the Intergovernmental Relations Committee, do you have a report this evening?
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have a report.
The Intragovernmental Relations Committee met this evening, January 3rd, 2023, at 7:40 PM. Present were Council President Broussard, committee members Gilchrist, Heeman, and Scarl, council members Glassburn, Limpert, and Williamson, the mayor, assistant law director, finance director, HR director, economic director, safety director, and guests. On the agenda were multiple reappointments by Mayor Daley Jones. The appointments were as follows. To the Arts Commission for 4-year terms beginning on January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2026, Becky Tazar, Mitzi Wilson, and Janelle Zahner Hoffert. To the Building and Zoning Board of Appeals for a 5-year term beginning January 1st, 2023 and ending on December 31st, 2027, Ralph Mackey. To the Landmarks Commission for 2-year terms beginning on January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2024, Elizabeth Cardelli, Sarah Egan Reeves, James Gerhart, and David Neville. The following brief comments and discussions, the committee voted 3-0 to recommend the above-mentioned appointments to council. At this time, Mr. President, I move to reappoint the following: Becky Tazar, Mitzi Wilson, and Janelle Zahner Hoffet to the Arts Commission for 4-year terms beginning on January 1st, 2023 and ending on December 31st, 2026. Ralph Mackey to the Building and Zoning Board of Appeals for a 5-year term beginning on January 1st, 2023 and ending on December 31st, 2027. And Elizabeth Zardelli, Sarah Egan Reeves, James Gerhart, and David Neville to the Landmarks Commission for 2-year terms beginning on January 1st, 2023 and ending on December 31st, 2024, and ask for a second.
Second.
Motion to approve the aforementioned appointments made by Councilwoman Gilchrist and seconded by Councilwoman Heeman. Roll call, please.
Ms. Gilchrist?
Yes.
Ms. Heeman?
Yes.
Mr. Scarl?
Yes.
Ms. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Limpert?
Yes.
Mr. Glassburn?
Yes.
Thank you. Becky Tasar, Mitzi Wilson, Janelle Zahner Hoffart are approved to the Arts Commission for 4-year terms beginning on January 1st, 2023 and ending on December 31st, 2026. Ralph Mackey to the Building and Zoning Board of Appeals for a 5-year term beginning on January 1st, 2023 and ending on December 31st, 2027. And Elizabeth Cardarelli, Sarah Egan Reeves, James Gerhart, and David Neville to the Landmarks Commission for 2-year terms beginning on January 1st, 2023 and ending on December 31st, 2024 are appointed by a vote of 6-0. And I'm assuming that...
The meeting concluded at 7:44 PM. Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Are there any letters or communications to come before council at this time?
No, Mr. President.
Thank you. So we'll move into audience participation. Thank you for attending tonight's council meeting. Public comment offers the opportunity for members of the public to share information and bring issues and concerns to the attention of city council members. If there is anyone in the audience who would like to address council, please come to the podium, state and spell your name and address for the clerk. And if you live in a city other than North Olmsted, please state the name of that city and proceed with your comments. You will have up to 5 minutes.
Good evening. Patrick Kelly, 23137 Alexander Road in North Olmsted, and for Mr. Glassburn's benefit, 44070. So the last meeting of 2022, it was a virtual meeting, and my computer was acting up. Not only did I not hear what most people said, I didn't get a chance to say anything at all. So for those of you that had some kind words about my leaving to go to county, I appreciate it. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve the residents of North Olmsted for the last 3 years. And I'm going to miss this position and hope that I can help this district at the county level coming up within the next 4 years. So I hope everyone has a wonderful 2023. And thanks again for being colleagues. I really enjoyed it.
I did it. I wanted to.
Thank you. Seeing no other comments from the audience, we will now move into legislation.
Legislation on third reading, ordinance 2022-124, introduced by Mayor Jones, an ordinance amending and reestablishing section 139.99 of chapter 139 of the Administrative Code of Codified Ordinances of the City of North Olmsted entitled Department of Public Safety in order to create the position of part-time master plans examiner within the Division of Building.
Mr. President, I move to adopt 2022-124 and ask for a second.
Second.
Motion to adopt ordinance 2022-124 made by Councilman Glassburn, seconded by Councilman Lippert. Roll call, please.
Mr. Glassburn?
Yes.
Mr. Lippert?
Yes.
Ms. Heeman?
Yes.
Ms. Gilchrist?
Yes.
Ms. Williamson?
Yes.
Mr. Scarl?
Yes.
Ordinance 2022-124 is adopted by a vote of 6-0.
Legislation on first reading, ordinance 2023-1, an ordinance to make appropriations for capital improvements for the city of North Olmsted for the year ending December 31st, 2023.
Mr. President, I introduce and place on first reading.
Ordinance 2023-2, an ordinance amending and reestablishing Chapter 171 of the Administrative Code entitled Community Reinvestment in order to update the standards and protocols for awarding and managing tax abatement and declaring an emergency.
Mr. President, I introduce and place on first reading.
Thank you. Moving into scheduling. As I mentioned in caucus, we're going to schedule a committee of the whole meeting for next Tuesday, January 10th, 2023 at 7 p.m. for the purpose of interviewing at-large council candidates. And then we will now move into scheduling committee meetings for Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. And we'll start with Councilman Lippert. Would you like to schedule building, zoning, and development?
I would like to schedule building zone development on the 17th at 7 o'clock to address 2023-2 and ask that the administrative director, the economic development director and or designee be present.
Thank you. And then Councilman Glassburn, would you like to schedule finance?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to schedule finance for 7:20 to discuss 2023-1 and ask that either representative of the mayor or the finance department be present.
Thank you. And then Councilwoman Gilchrist, would you like to schedule intergovernmental relations meeting?
Yes, I would like to schedule that as well on the 17th at 7:30.
All right, thank you. With the agenda being completed and there being no further business to come before council, this meeting of January 3rd, 2023 is adjourned at 8:20 p.m.
And may all meeting.
Good strategy for 2023.
Keep it quick and
Now that Pat's gone, we can get done early, right?